What is up, my friends? How are we? It is the morning after the night before. All right, it's only morning for me, fair enough, but it is the morning for me. And yeah, how we feeling? If it's weird on these big match nights where we've got momentous comebacks and stuff like that. I always wake up the next day feeling slightly hungover, even though I don't drink. Does anybody else feel that way after a big game? Sometimes my voice is gone as well, and it takes a good few cups of coffee to get me back into the rhythm of things. But yeah, we're good. We're here. We've lots to go through from a news perspective. We won't really be talking too much transfers in this show. We're going to save that for this evening. Today, we're going to be just basically telling you why Darwin Nunez is doing everything but putting the ball in the back of the net, and why we need to be patient with the guy. And I hope that we're all on board for that one. Lots of other bits and pieces as well to get through. Firstly, I hope that you're all well. And let us know how you're feeling after last night's game as well. Optimistic for the second leg against Fulham coming up in 2 weeks' time or so. Paul said, hello Craig, how are you doing? I'm good, my man. Yeah, I'm good. Just a little bit worn out after last night. These things take a lot out of you when you're screaming and shouting and you're old. It's important to point out the old part as well. But I'm good, thank you, Paul. If you have the cash as Klopp to get somebody in January, who are you getting? Good question. Depends how much cash I have. But look, realistically, you're probably looking at a centre-back, somebody of the, like Lacroix or somebody like that. Somebody reasonably priced that can come in and do a job. Yeah, I think I'm probably Lacroix, Inacio, somebody like that is probably where I'm looking. I'd love Antonio Silva, but I think it's too much money to be spending for a centre-back that, let's be honest, isn't going to come in looking to be a starting centre-back. For us, we don't need starting centre-backs. We just need good quality cover and rotation. So yeah, there's a lot, like, my views are changing as this January transfer window is going along. I've got to be honest with you, particularly when we see the likes of the impact Bradley can have, and I'm really intrigued to see the impact that Beck can have as an example. Like, the priority is always to let the kids come through, but they have to be good enough. And thankfully, we're going through a little bit of a purple patch where our academy seems to be producing some high-level young players, and Klopp and Linders are judging the right time to put these guys into the team. So the fact that Owen Beck is back looks like Luke Chambers is going to go out on loan. We'll talk about that a little bit today as well. So yeah, do you know what? I'm feeling optimistic, mate. I'm feeling good that the squad is as strong as it can be with the injuries that we have at the moment, but positive for the outlook. I mean, the future's looking bright. Curtis Jones is the new Steven Gerrard. So I treated myself last night. So after the game, like you all, I'm looking for as much Liverpool content as I can get. So I go around the internet and I have a look at fan forums and I have a look at blogs and all these other things because I want to see how people are reacting to the game. And sometimes I like to check my player ratings against other player ratings, so I'd often drop into Sky or the Echo or other sites. But last night I really treated myself. I went on and had a look at the Echo's live vlog of the game, where the Echo are posting updates of what's happening, but in the comment section you can see how the game is unfolding in the eyes of the Echo readers. And oh my days, there was some fun comments in there. Let me just read you through one of them, if you'd be so kind to indulge me for a second, because this just really made me laugh last night when I read this out. Let me just get to the comment. Sometimes it is nice to treat yourself and have a little look at the Echo comment section. Where did I post this last night? Was it to Ben or to Connor? Or am I going to just read it off my phone? You know what? I'm going to just read it off my phone. Wait till you hear this. It's brilliant. Right, you ready? So this guy in the Echo comment section, this was his synopsis of the first half. Elliott offers nothing on the right. Big Head Jones slows everything down. Gravenberg spelt wrong. He's got his Nan slippers on. VVD, get him off now. And heartless first half performance. So, for whatever anybody says about me and wants to have a dig at me for how I react, like I keep saying, everybody else is the same, if not worse. They just don't have a camera in their face. And that was the PG version of what I could pull to bring to the table. But it is mad because people forget that they've criticised somebody in the first half. And do you know what? We weren't that good in the first half. There were lots of things that we could have done better. And yeah, I didn't think Verge had a great first half either. But it's mad how that changes. And then if you look at the end of the game, everything's rosy in the garden again. Everybody's happy and everybody was brilliant. It's a mad thing watching a game of football and how our emotions react as we go through it and what we say, think, and do. It's like for that 90 minutes, sensibilities or common sense just goes out the window and we all become lunatics. Well, at least maybe it's just me and a few others, but it does do weird things to us. Just joined. What are you guys talking about? Love from Botswana. How are we, my man? We're just going to have a look and talk about, firstly, about Darwin Nunez. So I'll give you some information about Darwin's performances. So Darwin Nunez has the second best goals per minute, including non-penalty goals contributions of any Premier League player this season. He averages a goal contribution of every 92 minutes. Diogo Jota is a little bit more with 89.9. Ben Bosak on Twitter, by the way, giving a shout out to him for that bit of information that he posted. So well done, Bens, or Ben, as you call yourself properly. Well done, Ben, on that one. So yeah, pretty decent return there for Darwin Nunez. Harvey Elliott, let's talk about Harvey for a minute. So Josh LFC, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know about on there, has credited Lewis Steele with this, and he said Harvey Elliott clocks up 13.2 kilometres distance covered per 90 minutes this season, more than any Liverpool player of those players to play 5 or more games. Curtis Jones being second on the list with 12.6. And therein, my friends, is the reason Jurgen trusts Elliott and Jones, or one of the reasons. Look at that. So, if my memory is correct, most players are in and around between 10.5 and 11.5 kilometres. I think it's around that. So to see these boys clocking up 13.2 and 12.6 kilometres a game, you can see the energy levels they bring to the team, the pressing that they do, the covering up and down the wings that they do. And that's why Klopp trusts them, because the data in this regard doesn't lie. They run and work their backsides off. Some more stats to go through for Virgil van Dijk this time. We're going to talk about aerial duels. So the best aerial duel rates in the Premier League this season, having had 50 or more contested aerial duels. Virgil van Dijk, top of the list, with 82% of his aerial duels won. Max Kilman is in second place with 73.6%. Dara O'Shea with 73%. Levi Colwill with 72.2%. And surprisingly, in fifth place, Harry Maguire with 72%. But there you can see Virgil van Dijk yet again head and shoulders. Now, there are a lot of people who are saying that Van Dijk's washed and that Van Dijk's done. The stats aren't showing it. Now look, the stats aren't everything. The eye test is important. And I said to you last night, I felt Virgil was sloppy in the first half in certain periods. But he came into the game second half and was a lot better. But there you go. Most aerial duels won, Virgil van Dijk. Most distances covered, Harvey Elliott, followed up by Jones. And most assisted or most goal contributions, not including penalties, we've got Darwin Nunez right up there as well in second place. So you can see our boys are doing well, despite what some people want to say about them. Thanks for the great Liverpool content while I'm at work. Well, I hope you don't get fired watching. I don't want you to get in trouble for watching, but thank you for watching. Darwin is going for 40 assists, not goals. I don't care. I don't mean that at you, mate. Sorry, that JMG, that wasn't aimed at you. I mean, I don't care if they're assists or goals. We win games, and if he's part of us winning games, that's good. I've said this for years. I don't care who scores. I just care about us getting the results. And if we spread the goals around and everybody scores one, brilliant. If one person scores and we win 1-0, brilliant. I don't care. It's just about results because we support the team, and whatever gets us to winning is all I really care about. Some more stuff coming in from Marca. Fixture update. Liverpool versus Norwich or Bristol will be Sunday, 28th of January at 2:30 live on ITV. So just an update on that on the FA Cup game. When Norwich and Bristol play their game together, we'll play the winner on the 28th of January at 2:30. Thank you, Mark, for that. George, member with us for 2 months. Thank you, George. Said hello, loving the content, and hello to the AA family. Hello to you, sir. Darwin is so unlucky. So, did you guys see, where was this? I want to read this out. There was, who sent this in? I think it was Ben put it in. One sec. Where was this one? So there's a comment translated from Spanish that Darwin Nunez was overheard saying that was like, the ball just won't go in, brother, to one of the Liverpool players. Like, he's just really unlucky at the minute. And even Jurgen Klopp was talking about it. It'll happen for him. It will. Like, yesterday, he did everything but score. I didn't even realise, and I said this to you guys last night when I was doing the match reactions, that he had 2 assists. And he did everything right for the opportunity that Leno saved as well with his legs. He's just being unlucky at the minute, but it'll come. I don't like commenting, but it would be cool, and love Liverpool, said Fun Time Play. Welcome in, mate. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Where do you see Darwin in the future, meaning position, said Mohammed. So, Mohammed, for me, I prefer him off the left, but I guess that causes us a bit of a problem, right? Because Diaz is our left winger. But I just feel he's more impactful for us off the left-hand side. So while Mohamed Salah is away at the AFCON, I feel like it makes sense to play Darwin in a position that we think he's better in, which is off the left, and to give Diaz a run on the right to accommodate Nunez on the left, and while Mohamed Salah is away. It feels like the best way to solve the problem for me while Mo is away. What you do when Mo comes back? Well, look, I don't know. You hope, I guess, that Darwin has found his shooting boots by then, and then maybe you can move him back centrally. But him and Gakpo last night made a huge, huge difference when they came off the bench for that game. So you got to give Jurgen Klopp credit again for making the right changes. I can't even argue with the players he brought off last night. I thought taking off Elliott and Jones was the correct call. Or excuse me, Elliott and Gravenberch was the correct call. And we were just better. It's been really nice to see the changes impact the games in a positive way over the last couple of games, because sometimes managers make a change and it stunts momentum, or it just breaks up the game and we try to figure it out differently and it takes a bit of time. But last night it just worked and it was good to see. I don't care. I love spam. Okie dokie. Well, love it somewhere else, my friend. When Darwin starts scoring, we're putting 5 in the back of the goal every game. I do feel like when he does click, we are going to see fantastic stuff from Darwin, because it's good to see that people are at least saying he's doing everything else right. You know, it's good to see that. Can't help but smile thinking about how much damage Robbo and Darwin will cause once Robbo gets back. I'd be terrified if I was an opposing fullback, said Boxed Will. And thank you so much for the super chat, Will. Yeah, it's nice to know that Robbo's not too far away now. And it's going to be lovely to have him back and just feel like we're made whole again at the back. It's great. You know, to see players coming back from injury is going to really push us on in the second half of the season. I think the lads haven't been given enough credit for how well they've coped with the injuries. Now, look, I know we're not the only club to have injuries, but we only care about Liverpool, let's be honest. And I think the lads have been really good at managing situations, because we've pulled out a lot of results over the past few months where I think we'll all admit we weren't at our best, but we got the results, and that counts for a lot. The only really, really, really standout frustrating games were United and Arsenal. Arsenal we should have won if the referees had given us a penalty. And United, we were just terrible. There's no other way to say it. We were just terrible. Craig, is it too early to say we won't be signing anyone this January? It is too early to say it, Nessie, but I don't feel you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm not sure what happens this January, and the reason I'm not sure is because of the thing that you don't want me to talk about. The person you don't want me to talk about. The saga you don't want me to talk about. Because, honestly, I think until that is resolved publicly and we know what he's doing, I think the club are always going to have an eye on it. And we'll talk about it in more detail tonight at 8:30, because there have been, again, more things to come out around the whole Kylian Mbappe situation and Haaland and Real Madrid, and we'll get stuck into it tonight in more detail when we have a bit more time. But I wonder if we're just keeping our powder dry, just making sure we don't commit money we might need, if you get me, or Klopp's just happy with the squad. He sees players coming back from injury and doesn't feel like we need to dip into the market. I guess that's absolutely possible as well. Costas and Gomez have done quite well. We haven't missed Robbo, to be honest, said Dre Webb. They've done well, mate. They have, yeah. I wouldn't say we haven't missed Robbo, because he's better than both of them. But they have done well, absolutely. That they both deserve credit. Craig, who do you think will be our front three against Bournemouth? Jota, Diaz, Darwin. Yeah, Jota, Diaz, Darwin. That's what I go with. It's a good game for Gakpo as well, by the way, Bournemouth. I feel like he would suit that game. So if Klopp decides to give him a run, I wouldn't mind either. But that would be the three I'd be thinking. Where it really becomes confusing for me now is midfield, what we do there. Because obviously, Szoboszlai should be back for that game. So I'm interested to see what way Klopp lines us up in midfield. My man of the match yesterday, without doubt, without Mo, was definitely Jones or something with an improvement. Jones was brilliant yesterday. I still think Bradley was my man of the match, but Jones was right up there with him. But either way, it's just good to see. We're both sitting here talking about academy products, and that's a good thing. We're talking about Jones maybe absolutely just fulfilling that potential that we knew he had, and then he drifted away, and now he's come back and shown that he still has it. Bradley, probably relatively new to a lot of Liverpool fans, but he's one of the few youth players that I have actually been able to keep track of. I've been honest for many years and said the youth stuff is something I don't really have the time to keep up enough on, but when I stumbled across that article that I keep banging on about from Caoimhe O'Neill, it kind of woke me up to Conor Bradley, so I did keep an eye on him, and I always kept track on him when he was playing with Northern Ireland as well. Szoboszlai will be energetic, and I think he will be good down the right. Well, look, I want Szoboszlai to play the right side of midfield. I want Elliott, when he plays, to play on the right side of midfield. Diaz, for me, should be the solution on the right while Mo's away. It just makes the most sense. It's the most natural thing. And we don't have to really change too much. Putting Elliott out there, we lose a bit of pace. Putting Szoboszlai out there, we lose a bit of action in midfield. Just, to me, we have forwards, we have wide players, utilise them. Just maybe we have to move Diaz to the right instead of being on the left for a few weeks. Honestly, I feel like Conor wasn't that good. Bradley? Sorry, you're wrong. Look, you're entitled to your opinion, of course you are. But the newspapers, the manager, most of us fans, we all seen that performance for what it was, which was a damn fine performance for a young man taken over from somebody who is a catalyst for the way we play, up against one of the most energetic, attack-minded left-hand sides we're going to play against in Fulham with Anthony Robinson. And I thought he coped very well. He wasn't perfect, didn't expect him to be, but to say that he wasn't that good, I feel you're holding him to a very, very high standard then, if you don't feel he was that good. When did The Rock start live streaming? He's been at it for a while, Bobby. He goes under an alias of Anfield Agenda, though, but we've copped it. Right, some more stats, because there's more stuff to go through. Sorry, let me scroll back up. So, Conor Bradley himself has been speaking about yesterday's performance, and he said, obviously I'm not Trent Alexander-Arnold, so I'm going to play my game and contribute what I can do to the team. Hopefully that does us well. James Pearce has been saying that with Owen Beck back from Dundee and Andy Robertson and Costas only a few weeks away, it makes sense to loan out Luke Chambers, and that there's been plenty of interest, but Wigan are the front runners for that one. We also have a number of the amount of matches players have been unavailable for, this season. So Alisson has been unavailable for Liverpool for 3 games, Trent for 4 games, Conor Bradley's been out for 10, Kanade 2, Van Dijk 1, Matip 10, Robertson's been out for 20 games, Costas 4, Endo 2, Bajcetic 25, Szoboszlai 2, McAllister 6, Curtis Jones 5, Thiago 31, Jota 8, Doak 6, Salah 2. Now Salah and Endo, obviously those games will increase as they go through the international competitions with their countries, but few standout numbers there. Robbo to miss 20 is definitely a kick in the nuts for us. Bajcetic to miss 25 and Thiago 31. So a lot of games missed there, as you can see from certain players. A stream right as I'm home from school. This is going to be my day. There you go. Well, we hope to keep the 4 p.m. streams going, my man. That's the plan. 4 p.m. stream, 6:30 video, 8:30 live stream. So, Darwin Nunez, 2023-24 versus other Premier League strikers per 90 minutes. Assists, Darwin is top, number 1. Touches in the opposition box, Darwin is top, number 1. Shots, Darwin is top, number 1. Deep completions, 2nd. Passes into the box, 3rd. Crosses to the box, 4th. Shots assisted, 4th. And expected assists, 5th. So, although we ain't scoring, as we keep saying, Darwin is having a big part to play in what Liverpool are doing. LFC Transfer Room have posted in a behind-the-scenes video of the match against Fulham. This is what I was talking about earlier. You can hear Darwin Nunez tell someone, and again, I'm not able to speak Spanish, but "Loco no quiere entrar la pelota no más," which apparently means, brother, the ball just won't go in. And they go on to say that you can tell even he's frustrated with the situation. But yeah, he's doing everything but scoring. And as I said yesterday, when he missed that chance at that moment, I think he did everything right. So, there's something that I need to talk about, by the way. 1 second. Because somebody with a big mouth's been talking. And it ain't me for once. Where is it? Right. So, I've got to talk about something. I'm going to read out something to you, and then you'll know where I'm going. Our number 4 was named captain of the club following the departure of Jordan Henderson this summer. Has looked back to his best, with the exception of some displays. But former Chelsea man Jason Cundy believes the 32-year-old cannot be compared to the likes of Sol Campbell, John Terry and Rio Ferdinand. He goes on to say, he can do this, Van Dijk. Sometimes he puts in displays where you say he's rubbish. And not only does he head the ball in a direction that you don't want him to, personally, I think he's overrated. So let me just address Mr. Cundy for a moment, if I can. Jason, you are a fool. Now, not only are you a fool, you're an embarrassing fool. Remember when your former club were playing Manchester City and you were celebrating when Manchester City were about to go through against your former club because you wanted to, I don't know what, be edgy? You're not edgy, you're a mouthy fool. That's all Cundy is. A rent-a-mouth on a channel, on a station that is just for the lowest common denominator. That is just there to bait people. And they just put these loudmouth morons behind the microphone. For what? Nobody even knows who Cundy is. Like, I know who he is because I'm old. But the rest of the world don't know who Jason Cundy is. They just know him as this balding dope that sits behind a microphone giving it this, acting like he had a career that puts... You are fit to lace Virgil van Dijk's boots, you little moron. Shut up, Cundy. Honest, who gives these lads a job? I know that's all they're there to do is bait people, but all they're doing is adding to the world's problems. We don't need more rent-a-mouths. That's what I'm for. That's what fan channels are for. Nobody cares what Cundy has to say. All Cundy is a gobby little fool. End of conversation. End of debate. Stop it, Cundy. No one cares. You're irrelevant, you little twat. Honestly, he's a dope. He's a... Dennis said, I'm 70 and I don't know him. He's full of it, mate, honestly. You're not missing anything, Dennis. You're not missing anything, pal. Craig Houlden called. They wonder if you'd be pundit with Cundy interested. There is no amount of money, and I mean this seriously, not like the other lad who talks out one side of his mouth and then does something else. There is no amount of money that I would lower myself to work on TalkSport. None. There isn't a number. Honestly, they could offer me 150 grand a year to work on TalkSport, and I'd tell them to stick it. I couldn't look myself in the mirror, knowing that my whole existence would be to just bait people and say stupid stuff to get a reaction. The only person that I've got any somewhat of respect for, that does occasional stuff on TalkSport, is Dara McAnthony. Because I like Dara. He's a good guy. And I call Dara properly edgy. Not stupid, edgy. Good guy. Edgy, like his opinions. Get on with him really well. I think Dara's a lovely fella. But a lot of the other people on there, like, nobody wrote a letter to Sky and said, "Dear Sky, any chance we could have a little bit more of Gabby Agbonlahor, because we don't feel like our footballing needs are being fulfilled by the highbrow level of punditry that's out there in the world. We need a little bit more of Jason Cundy and Gabby Agbonlahor." Nobody's ever said that. Ever. Ever. Because nobody gives a shit. Let's be honest. Virgil makes one mistake the whole season. He's now overrated. It's just, they say it because they know it's going to bait us. That's why they do it. And rather than the world saying, we don't want this level of stupidity, we don't want this moronic level of punditry, people bite on it. And look, I've bitten on it, so I'm as guilty as anybody. But we deserve better. The football public deserve better. We deserve proper, informed debate, not the ramblings of a moron. Some might say this is the ramblings of a moron, but, you know, this is my platform. You know, I'm not being paid by somebody else to come in and share views. These are my honest views. There's no part of me that believes for 1 second that Jason Cundy thinks Van Dijk's not a good centre-back. He's full of shit. I guarantee it, if he met Van Dijk, he'd be, "Oh, Verge, oh, you're so great. Can I have a photo, Verge? For the gram, can I have a photo, Verge? Oh, Verge, you're great." Yeah, you're a little rat, Cundy. This chat was all over VVD yesterday, this match as well, because he made a mistake. But nobody said yesterday. See, there again, Jay Muse, is the difference between what we say during a watch-along and what Cundy said. What we said was Verge put in a poor performance in the first half and Verge made a mistake. We didn't go on to say that his whole career has been overrated and he doesn't deserve to be mentioned alongside Terry, Ferdinand, all these other people. See, that's the difference, pal. We're Liverpool fans. We're supposed to criticise and critique a performance of a player and say that we expect better. But that's one game. We're not writing off the man's entire career and calling him overhyped. And if you can't spot the difference of that, I can't help you. I miss seeing Trent pass to Robbo and Robbo cross the box for Salah or Jota. Thankfully, those boys will be back soon. So we should. Do you know what? I'd say we might see it almost happen in sync. That we see Robbo and Trent back probably around the same time. Did you see Doira from Monaghan's story recently? It's very inspirational. Oh, the young man who Klopp did the video with. Oh, absolutely. We talked about it over Christmas, Paul. I think we'll all admit we probably shed a tear. You know, it was both inspirational and, of course, really heartwarming. You know, Doira's passion for the club. I think we all recognise it, right? And, you know, to see him get to meet Lucho and Jurgen, and, you know, it was a lovely video. And, you know, I don't know if Dora ever watches our videos or anything, but dude, if you do ever see it, you're awesome. You're absolutely awesome. And your passion is infectious. And keep going, my man. And keep watching and keep loving and keep shouting and keep singing. And keep inspiring the rest of us to be good fans, because he's a wonderful young fella. There's no way we're letting Gomez go anywhere. No, absolutely not, Ahmed. We'd be crazy to. Gomez is he's so versatile and gives Jurgen so many options. Left back, right back, centre back. Somebody even suggested last night perhaps maybe you could even play him at defensive midfield at a pinch. Should Bradley start in Premier League games? I think he should start any game until Trent is back. And then if he continues to excel and do well, and Jurgen feels like maybe there's an opportunity in certain games to play Conor Bradley or Joe Gomez at right back and give Trent a proper run in midfield, so be it. But I guess we still have to figure out what happens when Endo is back as well. I need some more belters in the coming weeks. Quality time for the team to get full rest and spend some time with family and friends. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's. I hate when breaks come in the season because we love watching the Reds. It's part of all of our routines, but it is good to know now that the boys have some time to rest, recuperate. Because it's been hard for a lot of them. Had to play a lot of minutes because we've had a lot of injuries. So this hopefully is a time that we can reset a little bit. Now you don't want to lose momentum, of course, but 11 days, I'm sure the lads could do with the breather at this point. And it's also 11 days that we get to cut the time the boys are back from injuries. It's 11 days closer to Endo and Mo being, finished in their tournament. So it's going to be tough to get through the 11 days. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season now that we're fighting on four fronts. Queen Nadra, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Said, when Klopp leaves and we still have FSG as owners, we're going to end up mid-table team. See, I don't know how to answer that because your fears are probably justifiable. But I guess the way I'm kind of burying my head in the sand a little bit is there's a big part of me that still believes, and it's not based off anything, by the way, so I'm not trying to say I know something I don't. But there's a big part of me that feels there might be another contract. I don't know. I have nothing to base that off, as I said. It's absolutely not news or information. But I don't know. I just feel like if Jurgen still feels energised and let's say Bradley comes through and some more younger players come through and his team evolves again, if he still feels energised, enthused, his family are still happy, he's still feeling healthy and well, I don't know. He seems like the type of man that once he still has that energy and enthusiasm, he won't want to take a break if it's taking its toll on him. And I imagine managing a club like Liverpool would be both a joy and a burden at the same time. A burden from the perspective of it's all encompassing. It's a very demanding job. I hope we get Alonso as a manager after Klopp. Certainly he's looking like he's going in the right direction, George, for that big job. Interestingly enough now, his contract, Klopp's contract, and Carlo Ancelotti's contract are all running the same time, all ending in 2026. So, the stories almost write themselves there. Alonso might be on the radar by then, and he's doing very well so far. He certainly is doing very well, yes. Boy, are we missing Endo. How good has he been? Great signing. We're definitely missing him. You can see the role of our number 6 is different when Endo's not there because McAllister can't do some things that Endo can do, which is understandable because Endo is, a bona fide defensive midfielder. So, yeah, I guess that's praise for Endo, as you've said, because McAllister's doing a job and fair play to him for just doing what the manager asks. But we were certainly in a better position when Endo was there because he'd upped his level, he got into a rhythm, and he just looked like he was ready to go and playing really well. That Super Copa semi-final yesterday with Real Madrid was such an exciting game. Yeah, I watched the highlights back last night actually. The live score app had the highlights on it, so I always go through and check all the football scores in the day just to see if there's anything that I need to be informed about. And I knew the result because you guys were telling me it was 5-3 yesterday, so I did watch them back. Tonight it's Barca Osasuna, I think, as well. But what stood out to me again? Have you guys noticed this about Saudi? Any of the events that they've put on around boxing, football, the atmosphere is just not right. Like, I'm not going to say that there isn't enthusiasm, but it's not as we know it, particularly with boxing. I've noticed the boxing shows are dead. There's people there, but there's no vibe in the building. Same with the game yesterday. I thought even watching it back, it was very eerie at times, seeing the sounds or hearing the sounds coming from the stadium. It was I don't know, weird. By the way, the performance looked great. The game looked really end to end. I thought Maka was a lot more press resistant yesterday against Fulham. I'm just trying to think back. I don't remember him really being dispossessed too much either, now that you mention it. I do remember being frustrated with Maka a little bit that he wasn't getting his head up to have a look forward, because there was a couple of good runs made by our forwards that I thought could have been picked out. But what stand out for me yesterday was, again, Anthony Robinson. That dude is just a bundle of pace and energy and power. He's a very good player. And I know we've been roughly linked with him, and I know he started his career at Everton, and I know he's 26 years of age, so probably out of the age range. But Fulham have a good player there. He really did put in another great shift. Yeah, it's off, I feel, said Sib. It's not a dig against the people of Saudi or anything. It's just the way we consume sport could be different. It's just not what we're used to. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with Saudi fans or anything like that. It just feels a little bit alien to me watching it. There's talk in Brazil that Andre Trinidad is regretting the fact he didn't get moved to Liverpool in the summer. Don't blame him if he is, because it's gone very quiet around him. Fulham can't sell Paulinho for the money they want. Bayern have walked away by the looks of it. So then they've got the problems with trying to come up with the money to buy Andre and fit in with FFP. So yeah, the Andre situation, I get a feeling, and it's just a guess, but it wouldn't be surprising if he ends up in Italy at this point, because it's definitely gone really quiet around English clubs and Andre at the minute. Barco to Brighton will just be another £100 million deal to Chelsea in a year or two. Yep, and we mentioned him on the channel a few times. Valentin Barco, he's somebody who wasn't ready to come into the Liverpool team straight away, but certainly would have been in my opinion, a good player to buy and loan out for a year or two while we see how he develops. And then, you either sell him on or you bring him in when Andy Robertson's getting a little bit closer to needing more rotation. Don't think it's talked about enough how Gomez did both ACLs and also broke his leg and is performing to the standard he is. I think we talked about it quite a bit at the times. He's certainly been through some horrendous injuries, Paul, and it's testament to his professionalism and his work rate that he's got back to the level he has. The leg break in particular, if I remember correctly, it was against Burnley, was it? And I want to say it was a tackle with Ashley Barnes, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, he's come through a lot and still only 26. So it's crazy when you think about how much career Gomez has had already and the ups and downs in it. Thoughts on Hendo to Chelsea? I can't see him coming back to England because of the tax implications. It would just... If he wanted to really just destroy his legacy at Liverpool, like he wasn't finished with the running off to Saudi and throwing the fans under the bus and the manager under the bus. If he joins Chelsea, just go to Ajax. Just don't go to Chelsea. Of all the fucking clubs, love the game without VAR. We can finally celebrate the goals, and they'll be 100% given. I enjoyed it last night. Now, I didn't enjoy when David Coote didn't give us a penalty. But other than that, I thought the game flowed better. I enjoyed watching it more. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but yeah, it was a nice, refreshing sense of we just had to have a quick glance at the linesman, and that was it then. We knew if a goal was given, it was given, and that was the end of it. And I thought that the linesmen did their job well yesterday. I don't think... Outside of the penalty, I can't remember too much more I felt overly frustrated with Coote with. Now, the yellow card incident, now that I've watched it back, is a farce. Because I said to you guys last night, I hadn't had a chance to watch it back. That was a joke. If anything, the other lad should have been booked for play acting. But look, we got the job done. Shame we couldn't get the third, because we did try, but it's all set up for a really good second leg at Craven Cottage. Is the social tax Hendo joining another Premier League club he'll pay if for banter? So if Hendo moved to another Premier League club now, he'd have to pay about 47% tax on the income he made in Saudi Arabia to the HMRC. If he stayed in Saudi for 2 years and came back to England, nothing. But he hasn't been out of England for one full tax year. And that's the key here. If he left halfway through a tax year and stayed for a year and came back halfway through another tax year, it still doesn't count as a year. He has to be out of the country for one full tax year. So if he goes to Premier League, he's going to have a load of tax to pay. If he goes to the Eredivisie, he'll have to pay 20% tax to Saudi, because I believe the tax law for footballers there is, if you stay in the country for 2 years, all of your income is tax free. But if you leave before the 2 years are up, there's a flat 20% tax that you have to pay on those earnings. So I'm sure the calculations will be a lot more beneficial to Henderson to pay less tax and go to the Eredivisie for, I don't know, a season and a half, whatever it might be. Chelsea would have to pay him a lot of money, I would think, to make it worth his while to come back to the Premier League, taking into account the money he'd lose in taxes. I love the game without VAR, said Yorkshire T. Drew Vat said didn't want VAR. Benny said I love the game without VAR as well. Yeah, it was quicker. The game moved along a lot better, and I agree with you all. These little glimpses we've had of no VAR in games, it's made me feel like I miss the days with no VAR. Any idea why the Premier League doesn't want to implement automatic offsides? Yes, so the initial reason, mate, was twofold. The clubs didn't vote for it, but there was also a technical reason. So the Premier League used Nike footballs for the Premier League, and they weren't tested enough with the systems. So they didn't feel like they had enough research with the Nike football to feel like that they could calibrate the semi-assisted offsides. So between that and the vote, the clubs, that's the reason why it wasn't implemented in. It's hopeful it'll be in next year, because let's be honest, the more we can remove technology out of the hands of the PGMOL, the better. The more it can become automated, the better, because there's no bias involved in it. But that's the reason. Hender's gone through a massive culture shock and has lost his identity, in my opinion. From the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows, empty stadiums would feel like friendly trainer matches. But that's why he was getting the money. This is what annoyed me about the Henderson move. If Hendo had have gone, I want to move because I'm being offered generational wealth, and I understand everything that will come along with moving, but I'm looking after my family's future, and I want to do it for the money. If you said that, and I can't speak for everybody, I would have gone, fair enough. I feel like you're still being a bit of a hypocrite, but at least you're being honest about why you're going. To hear this nonsense about so 1 minute he wants the World Cup in Saudi, remember? Posting saying how great it is and how the World Cup should come to Saudi. And now we hear he wants to leave because of the lack of atmosphere, the cultural differences, the weather, the lack of fans in stadiums. I mean, it's just one never-ending lie after another. Just say what we all know. You went to chase the bag. Just say it. Because I'd have a lot more sympathy for him. I don't judge anyone for chasing money. It's your life. But I don't like a hypocrite. I don't like somebody say, like, I can sit here and say, oh, I wouldn't do this. I fucking guarantee you, Saudi Arabia offered me £1 million for Anfield Agenda tomorrow. I'd be all like, adios. Thank you very much. Here's my bank account number. Because that's what I'm in it for, is the exchanges with fans and to change my family's life. And that's why you work hard. So I wouldn't have cared if he was gone about the money, but it was this bull that he was doing it to grow the game that just riled me. Klopp said Hendo ain't a good squad player because he was captain. I feel for Jurgen because he fought to get him that deal. So there've been a couple of occasions where Hendo, I don't want to say spat his dummy out because I don't know another phrase, but became unhappy. And it was when he felt like he wasn't getting respected because of the new deal stuff because of his age. So Klopp went to bat for him, got him a new deal. So then Hendo went off, and I think we'll all admit, he trained like an animal over last summer. You could see him doing the boxing, and he looked absolutely ripped and ready to go. But then we signed some more midfielders, and then his place comes under question, and then all of a sudden he didn't feel loved again or whatever, and he's off to Saudi. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, because nobody will ever convince me it was anything other than a money grab. And no matter how many interviews he does or how much he tries to profess like he didn't throw the LGBTQ community under a bus, he did. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you're happy to take the plaudits for being an ally, to get all the positive publicity, to be held up as a hero and worshipped for your morals, then they're your morals. You don't get to do it, then run off and then still want the same adulation and love, because you've got to live the life. What do I think about Gaelic football? It's amazing. Love Gaelic football, mate. Played it all the way through primary and secondary school. I'm never really into hurling, to be honest with you, but Gaelic football, I loved it. Gomez has been class at left back. Yeah, he has. Joe deserves a lot of credit for his performances at left back and at right back. It was lovely last night when I watched back the game with the audio one. I didn't hear this during the watch along, but do you know when it broke to Gomez on the edge of the box in the first half, to hear everyone saying shoot, 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 because they want him to score as well. Everybody wants him to get that goal. And I have to admit, when the ball dropped to him last night on the edge of the box, I did think to myself, is this the moment? Is this where Joe puts the laces through it and it goes top bins? Do you see Newcastle troubling City this weekend and helping us? It's a tough place to go, St. James's Park. So it's a 5:30 game, if I'm right. Under the lights, St. James's Park, freezing cold. It's possible. Absolutely. Like, I'd still, if I had 50 quid, I'd still be putting it on a City win, but it's definitely not out of the realms of possibility that Newcastle can take something off them. So that would be great. You know, if we could get a bit of a helping hand with not even playing, that would be brilliant. And then, of course, Sunday, we're all set up. And I will be on top of the league on Sunday. Myself and Ben are going to be doing a watch-along of the United and Spurs game. So looking forward to... I mean, my perfect scenario is I don't know if Werner's registered in time, but if Werner scores against United, Ben should just leave the country, because I'm going to be unbearable. What was that one? Yeah, I love that, hearing everyone shoot to Gomez. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I hope he gets it. He definitely looks more likely coming in off the left side, doesn't he, to score, with he cutting onto his right foot. Called it before the league started and not counting my chickens, but it looks like we're within the league. Oh, so, sorry, really, before we kind of start to wind up, Anfield Agenda clips. We do have a clips channel now, so if you'd like to go across and check it out, there's a really good clip yesterday of me drinking Prime that Ben edited and put up with proper fun graphics and stuff over it. That's up on the clips channel. I think it's on our TikTok as well. So if you haven't subbed to the Anfield Agenda clips channel, that's what it looks like if you are looking around YouTube. Just the reverse of our normal colour, so it's white and red. Would love you guys to go over and give a sub to it. We're going to continue to post lots of outtakes, funny moments, shorter clips up on there, and I hope you guys give it a watch. So do check it. The link is in the description of this stream as well. If Gomez scores this season, we're going to win the Premier League title. Hopefully. I hope he does score. Cody said, hello Craig, I'm at work. I won't say it, mate, don't worry. But seeing you were live, so I had to watch. Congrats on the Boston show. Again, to you and the boys, you deserve it. Oh, thank you, Cody. And you've set me up nicely. There you go. There's the poster for the Boston show. So yes, what is it now? Probably 10 weeks away till we are in Boston. I'm so excited about it, mate. Look, we need to shift a load of tickets. Don't get me wrong. And I got to get my finger out and figure out how to do that. But so far, I think we've done about 8 or 9% of tickets, which sounds terrible, but I'm actually think it's all right. I think we've sold about nearly 10% of it done. And we haven't even put much publicity into it yet. So yeah, if you are in Boston or Massachusetts, near in that neck of the woods, do come and check us out. You can find the tickets on Ticketmaster. 777, love that part. See, I didn't even know they were doing that, Shadow. I only see these clips after they go live, because obviously the boys are working hard in the background. And I want to give a particular shout out to Ben, because, you know, I ask the lads to do a lot at times, because it's a very high pressure environment when things are time sensitive. So to be able to trust Ben and Conor in the background to do these things and know that they get my sense of humour is brilliant. So big shout out to Ben for that edited clip yesterday. It was amazing, and it's one I'm going to keep forever. I thought it was brilliant. So well done to the boys. Surely put Alisson as striker in our next FA Cup game and rest Nunez. Well, it feels like the sensible thing to do, doesn't it? Love from Malaysia. Thank you, Asiaf. Much love, my friend. Appreciate your support. How many times do you get to Anfield? I haven't been in 2 years, Tom. I'm hoping, myself and the guy that owns the company Oosh that we work with, I'm hoping to get over to a game before the end of the season with him. I don't know what one yet, but yeah, it's difficult because, you know, if I go, I'm missing the watchalongs and we're losing money. So, but it has been too long. I need to get over. I'm just a bit nervous about how I'll be received at Anfield or outside by people, because, you know, rightly or wrongly, I always assume that everybody hates me. That goes the game, so I'm a bit nervous about going. But at the same time, I just got to bite down and go and see what happens, I guess. Thanks for great content, part of my routine. Thank you, Crimbo Klopp. Appreciate you, mate. Right, look, I'm going to go and record a news video, but I'll be back at 8:30 tonight, and I hope you guys can join us. We're going to get in all the transfer talk tonight. So if you want to get into a rhythm and you want to know what these videos are about, the 4 p.m. news streams are going to be just that. We're going to be talking about news, stats, how the players are performing, injuries, this kind of stuff. The 6:30 for this month's a transfer video. And then we'll be a live transfer show at 8:30 where you guys can ask questions, we can share stories and all the in-between. So, appreciate you. I will see you 8:30 tonight. Keep your eye out for a video dropping about 6:30. And don't forget to check out the Clips channel. You guys are awesome. See you later on. Much love.